I've already made a couple of videos talking about my thoughts on the possibility of a console port of Valorant along with the pros and cons of it coming to console. Back then it was just speculation, but now pretty much everyone is like 99% sure the game is coming to console due to the new listings involving console development with a description saying work with team leads to develop a vision for combat in Valorant on consoles. So in today's video, I want to make a wish list of what I would like to see in a console port of Valorant, both for the long-term success of the game and quality of life for the player. But before we get into that, you know the drill. Here's my sponsor, Dubby. Dubby is an energy formula that helps you focus on your game without any of those jitters or crashes you would normally get from other energy drinks. It has 0 calories, 0 sugar, all while giving you the goods of vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics like Neurofactor. If you want to try Dubby for yourself, click the link below or use code CR0W for 10% off your next order when you check out. The first wish might be obvious, but I'd like to see the game have proper keyboard and mouse support and controller support for both consoles and PC. Controller support might be obvious to most of you, but a surprising amount of people have suggested making the game a keyboard and mouse only game on console. In my opinion, that would be a big mistake. Making the game keyboard and mouse only basically eliminates 80% of the console population from even trying the game. Think about it. How many console gamers own a keyboard and mouse for gaming? And no, the office setup you got from Staples 5 years ago doesn't count, mainly because the hardware wasn't made for gaming. The kind of equipment you need to play PC games properly, especially a game like Valorant, comes from brands like Logitech, Razer, Zowie, Final Mouse, Glorious, HyperX, Cooler Master. If you don't have gaming peripherals from those brands or anything like it, I wouldn't count on it, but pretty much all console gamers have at least one decent functioning controller. The keyboard and mouse is good for those that may want to try the game out like they were playing on PC, especially if you want to take the game seriously. Some might worry about the imbalance between keyboard and mouse against controller players, which brings me to my next topic, strict input-based matchmaking. For those that don't know, input-based matchmaking is a system that tries to pair players fairly based on peripherals. So if one team consists of 2 controller players and 3 keyboard and mouse players, the game would try to find and pair the same amount of controller and keyboard and mouse players on the other team so the match is as fair as it could possibly be. With Valorant, I take it a step further and make it so strict that lobbies wouldn't have mixed inputs at all. So controller players will only be paired with and against controller players, and the same thing would go with keyboard and mouse players. But then it creates a population issue on consoles since, again, vast majority of console players play on controllers. So to help that divide, we would need crossplay with PC. Now, before everyone starts a riot in the comments section complaining on how crossplay with PC would ruin the experience, hear me out. Pretty much every modern AAA game with multiplayer has been jumping on the crossplay trend, but a lot of gamers, especially console gamers, have grown out of the idea of crossplay due to their matches feeling unfair, especially when facing PC gamers. But what I've noticed is that the problem isn't necessarily with the platform itself, but mainly the primary peripheral of PC, which is the keyboard and mouse. Controllers are at a significant disadvantage against keyboard and mouse due to controllers being limited to a thumbstick while keyboard and mouse has the freedom of laser technology to aim with. But if you combine the strict input-based matchmaking I suggested before with crossplay, it can make a healthy environment for every type of player no matter what you play on or with. Controller players can have their safe space while keyboard and mouse players can have their own lobbies while keeping the possibility of being able to play with your friends across all platforms intact. So if a controller player wants to play with his PC friends for a bit, they could just plug in a keyboard and mouse and join their lobby. If a PC player wants to play with their console friends, they could plug in a controller and join their lobby. Riot can also take the Overwatch route and only have crossplay in casual lobbies while keeping ranked separate based on platform. And thankfully, Valorant has Ricochet, one of the strongest anti-cheats anyone's ever seen. So if you're worried about cheaters from PC, don't, because I've only bumped into one blatant cheater since the beta released and he got banned mid-match, so you don't have to worry about cheaters too much. Another obvious request is 120 FPS support for the next-gen consoles. I don't have to explain the importance of it, but I do want to note that pretty much all the next-gen consoles, including the Series S, is more than capable of running Valorant at 120 FPS with pretty much any resolution. I can't say the same for the last-gen consoles as the hardware there wasn't made for that, but 60 FPS should still be a doable experience for a casual experience for those that are stuck on the last-gen consoles. The final request I have on my wish list is cross progression. And cross progression, for those that don't know, is basically crossplay for your in-game stats and items. So if you're a level 200 with dozens of skins on PC and you decide to play on console for a bit, you'll also be level 200 with the same skins there. And you can hop back and forth between platforms without worrying about losing your progress or items. Call of Duty and Overwatch do this perfectly in my opinion, and if Valorant or Riot just copy that, I think everyone will be cool with it. The only thing I wouldn't carry over are the competitive ranks, mainly because controller and keyboard and mouse metas are going to be completely different. Either that or have two separate queues for controller and keyboard and mouse players so the ranks carry over, but it will show what rank you have based on what peripheral you use. That seems to be everything I would want in the console versions of Valorant, but what would you guys want for the console ports of Valorant? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and who knows, maybe a Riot developer will watch this video and take these suggestions into consideration. But aside from that, I hope you did enjoy the video. Leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll talk to you all later.